Half and Half on Air. I'm your host, Greta by Rami.
And I'm your host, Cultivating.
And this is episode 6. In this episode, we're going to switch it up a bit. We're going to talk about that woman of 2025. In our opinion, of course. This is not referring to anybody else's opinion. This is just our opinion. If you don't like it, you can just hit the unsubscribe button, but don't do that. Listen till the very end. I want to talk a little bit about today's culture. I've noticed in today's culture, a lot of girls out there, they spend a lot of their youth being told that, hey, don't settle down, don't do anything until you're in your 30s, like 30 to 35. Between ages of now until 30, 35, just hustle, 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 grind and grind. You can meet people casually, but nothing serious. So what does this really mean? This means that you're just having meaningless relationships that just make you probably feel worse about yourself because you're not emotionally all there. And you're just adding body count, whatever you want to call it, to your agenda, which essentially leads me to the question I'm going to ask you as a young adult. Like, is that really empowering as a female? Or are you really just wasting time and pushing yourself further away from the ultimate, goal, which for a lot of people is to find a lifelong partner?
Yeah.
Because, and I'll end it with this before you take over, it's like, if you've pushed it off, and then your 30s come, and then the pressure comes, I need to get married because I need to get married, then you just get married to get married, then you get divorced, and then it's like a cycle. So why don't we do this? Why are we not telling girls? This is a question for you. Why are we not telling girls from the moment that they decide that they want to date, that they should be dating for the ultimate goal of marrying? And if it doesn't happen, that's fine, move on. But why are we not telling girls that today?
I think that it's very damaging to the females and today's generation because, like you said, they're just partying and they're like, oh, like, I'm just going to use him and, like, he's going to, like, I guess use you in a way, but I'm a boss girl. I'm just going to work all the time. And I think, like you said, one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, you're going to feel horrible about yourself. The guy, he's not going to feel bad at all. He's going to move on. He's probably going to find a wife that's younger and she's, she was, like, waiting for him, whatever. And you're going to be the one that's had the most damage and the most harm done to you. And so I think that what society or what people are trying to praise is ultimately hurting the female in the end. It's not helping the males out in any way. It's not putting guys down and bringing the girls up. I think that it's bringing the girls down. And I think that it's harmful, and I don't believe in it at all. I think personally you should date to marry. I think that if you're dating, you're looking for a partner. Of course, that doesn't mean you're going to settle, you're going to start doing everything for him. But if he's the one or you think that he's the one, then I'm going to start cooking for him, cleaning for him, doing womanly things because, like, that's how we're going to build an amazingly strong relationship. And I mean...
So wait, pause, because I gotta go back. And that's a great question. We can talk about that. It's a 2-part question.
Okay.
Let's talk about the first one. So you're saying that if you're a 20-year-old girl listening to this podcast and there is somebody that comes into your life, you should date to marry. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to marry that person. The relationship could fail, but you should enter any relationship with the intent that it might go somewhere because 100%. This allows you to be the best version of yourself.
What's the point in going into a relationship knowing it's going to end? It's a ticking time bomb. I don't think that...
But most young adults that I speak to, because I get to go to college campuses a lot, I ask them, like, oh, are you dating? They're like, oh yeah, I have a girlfriend. Oh my God, like, are you guys serious? No, never. She's definitely not wife material.
Or like, same with the girl, vice versa.
So why are you wasting your time?
Why would I ever marry him? He's not up to my standards. Then why are you wasting your time? Exactly.
Why are you wasting your time, right? So what I think, like, as society, this is something that we're seeing more and more where women are wasting their time. And who gets hurt in the end? Women, because they wake up hurt. They wake up feeling used and disrespected, and they've lost a lot of time, right? Like, they wake up in their 30s, 35, and now they're just further away from achieving a family, which also we can get into other things that it makes conceiving more hard, it makes getting pregnant more hard, just makes everything harder. So I guess my recommendation to any young person listening would be the intent of a relationship is always to go to the ultimate goal. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time, right? But if you don't get to the goal, that's okay. You just keep trying with another person. But you should never do anything with no goal or nothing, like you're just doing it to do it. 100%. I think that's really important. Now it moves into the second question, which she touched upon, that I'm going to ask is, like, why are women today being told that they have to be manly? Like, I'm a woman in construction. I'm a woman in a male-dominated industry, but I'm very motherly. I am. Like, I cook and I clean and I go home and I enjoy it. Like, I enjoy making meals for you and the camera guy. I enjoy I enjoy, waking up and making breakfast for everybody. I enjoy cleaning my house. I enjoy being a feminine person, having that feminine energy. Why is society, especially your generation, pulling away for that? Why are you guys telling the world, and when I say you guys, I mean your generation, why are you guys telling the world that it's not okay to be feminine? Like, I have to be like Freddie, and Freddie has to be
Oh,
like me. Why do I want Freddie being like
well, I
me?
think that I've seen this actually online, and I've seen like a lot of girls, and they take like videos of like women holding the bags, and like the guys are behind them not holding anything, and then girls are like, look at like guys are now like princesses, but it's like they're like this because you've made them like that. If we're being honest, I think the women now, they're starting to realize like, oh, guys are being such princesses, such divas, but we essentially made them like that because we were like, I want to do the things, like I don't want to cook, I don't want to do this, like I want to hold my own stuff. So the guy's like, okay, like I guess like I'll do it, you know what I mean? Or no, sorry, you'll like do all the manly stuff, and I'll just sit back, and won't do anything. I'll be the princess. So I guess we kind of made the switch for them, which is horrible. I mean, there's not all men are like that, but I think that the women are the ones making the men like that. And I think that there's nothing wrong going and like cooking for your man or doing, his laundry or stuff like that, because men provide for you in many other ways that I'm not talking about financially, but I'm like in ways that you can't provide for them. Like I feel so safe, you feel a man can give you that safety and so many other things like that comfort and things that you need to compensate for them like in other ways. Does that make sense? Like
Sure, I guess you could say that at our house we don't do the trash. You and I don't do the snow plowing. We don't fix the cars. The cars are my cousin Dennis and Freddie. We don't do
Oh, yeah.
anything.
And I think a
So
lot of people, they're gonna be like, oh, this is such like an old mentality and like old way to think. But to me, I think that it's beautiful, and I think that's why like I'm a short girl. I'm not that strong. Like, why would I want to be doing that? And when my like significant other has like a long day and I make them a meal, I feel so happy doing that. And I'm sure he makes me happy in other ways as well by if I have a problem with something physically, like he needs to like go and like help me, you know what I mean? I think that there's such a beauty in that, and I think that social media has made it seem like, oh, he's using you, or oh, you shouldn't do that, you're a girl boss, like you shouldn't be cooking for him or cleaning for him. But I don't know, I grew up watching you do that in a way, but also at the same
which
time,
is
like my father doesn't disrespect my mother. Like my father understands that like she's doing something for him, and he's very grateful. Like, of course your man still needs to appreciate that, and he does, because he shows it in other ways. But I don't think you need to belittle men and make them feel bad about it, because then they're just gonna view women in a bad way, and then they're gonna become princesses. So
no, I think what I agree with what you're saying, but I guess to just put it into perspective a little bit and condense it down, it's like we want to do womanly things because we appreciate being in our feminine energy. And especially, that's a bold statement coming from me, a woman who works in a male dominated industry and is around guys all the time. Even though I can keep up with the guys and match them at their own energy, I still enjoy being a mom to Kiara and Enzo, and I still enjoy cooking, and I still enjoy being a wife, because that is ultimately in my purpose in life. Like at the raw and like, I'll leave you with this, and for those that want to hate, they can hate, but clip this. At my raw, most authentic self, if I had a magic wand, that would be the job that I would love to do unconditionally every single day. If I didn't have to worry about living in a capitalistic environment that needs me to grind every day, needs me to financially support my family and pay my bills, I would be very, very happy being Freddie's wife and being your mom, and enjoying every blessing every single day at home with all of you. That would be the best job. Unfortunately, I can't have that job every day, but because I cannot have that job every day doesn't mean that now I have to delete that job forever from
oh
existence. And I
yeah.
think to the woman listening, it's really important to allow yourself to be a feminine energy, and it's really important to allow yourself to be in your natural role that was created for you since your existence. And I think we're trying so hard, your generation is trying so hard to push us away from this natural energy, this natural purpose that we have in life, that it saddens me. And I'll leave you with this. One more thing, Kiara, is when I became a mom, I was like, how am I going to know how to breastfeed? How am I going to know how to change a baby? How am I going to know how to take care of a baby? Like, is this baby going to die on me at nighttime? But guess what? My natural instinct took over, and my body knew exactly what it had to do. Like the moment I gave birth to you, even though I was a young teen mom, my body knew exactly what it had to do. Like it was it was in biologically inside of me. Like I knew how to bathe you, I knew how to clean you, I knew how to feed you, I knew how to take care of you, I knew how to put you to sleep. And I think that is because I'm listening to that motherly inside of me. But we're gonna switch it up now. I'm gonna go talk a little bit about projecting insecurities. I'm gonna ask you a fun question. So I've always been heavy my whole life. Well, ever since I had Kara, I was very overweight, and I always walked around positive, happy. Even though I was overweight, I was struggling in my own skin, I was very depressed. I never made people feel bad. I never went to the club. I never went anywhere making people feel bad about how they looked. And then guess what? These girls and you guys looked great all the time. And I was like the awkward fat person in the background. And I never made you feel bad. But what I'm seeing a lot in today's society is that I see people making people feel bad. And I sit there, I'm drinking my coffee, and I self-reflect. And I say, why is this person making this person feel bad? And it comes down to they're projecting their pain and their insecurity onto somebody else. For example, if I'm overweight and you're in healthy shape, I'm giving you bad energy. I'm giving you dirty looks. I'm talking bad about you, not because of you. It's most likely because you stand for something that I want to be. And I want to say, like, what happened in society to just being happy for other people, even if they have the things that you wish you had? Like, why not use them as inspiration, but instead put them down, find ways to put them down?
I think that a lot of people have envy and hate in their heart, and then they just use that as fuel to just hate even more. And then in that way, they're not even, I guess it's like that fixed mindset versus that growth mindset in a way, because, you're just, oh, like, look at her. She's skinny, like she's very beautiful, like I don't know, for an example. And instead of using that to be like, you know what, like I don't need to worry about her, there's a million beautiful girls in the world, I need to focus on myself. And maybe this is a wake-up call. Maybe I need to focus on my health. Maybe I need to go to the gym more. Maybe I don't even know, I need to switch my diet and other ways to feel beautiful. Or maybe I just need to switch the way I view myself. I'm not her, she's not me, she has other things in her life. I don't know what her story is, but I know my story, and that's the only one I can change. I can't change her. I can't hate on her. I need to fix myself, because hating is not going to do anything. It's just going to make you dig, I guess, a deeper hole for yourself, and it's just going to make you wake up every morning with so much aggression and so much
That's why I never understood. Like,
envy.
whenever I see people that are like a little out of shape, or I see people, and it reminds me of myself just a year and a half ago, and I say to myself, like, I was never like that. I was still smiling, lighting up rooms, even though I was in pain.
Complimenting people.
And I was in pain. I was dying on the inside, but I never let my pain be projected onto other people, because they didn't need that. They didn't need my insecurities and my hate for myself and everything, and how tasteless life was. They didn't need that to be projected onto them. I had to still be a good human being, and I see this every day. I see people coming in, and I know they're having a bad day because I could tell they're out of shape. They're not happy with themselves. They don't like the way they look. And then I just see them being assholes to other people. And I'm like,
and then you ruin someone else's day.
Why
do you have to do that?
Why do you do it? Why can't you just keep that inside? Or you know what? Excuse yourself. Have a bad day alone. People don't need that negative energy from you.
The energy you put out is the same energy that's going to come back to you eventually. I mean, that's just how it works. And I think that wouldn't it make you feel better to see someone smile, to compliment someone, even if you're at a disadvantage? And maybe they'll, I don't know, like, it's just...
And here's the thing I want to say. When these girls do that, if I was to call them out on it, I'm going to be labeled as a bully. I'm going to be labeled as a person who doesn't care about a fat person, a person who doesn't care about somebody that's down. And that's not true, because I was that person. So if I'm telling you that it's not okay to do it, I was that person. You can't turn it around and say I'm being a bully, that Greta's a mean woman, she doesn't understand, she's not for the girls. I am for the girls, but I was that girl, and it still doesn't give you an excuse. If you're suffering, it does not give you an excuse to be an asshole to somebody else.
And
you
not
have
even
to,
just
you have to correct
overweight.
yourself, or you have to find support systems or therapy. I'm sorry to be the one to like say this out loud, but you cannot go through life being a horrible human being to other people because you're suffering, and then expect that person to be like, oh, it's okay because Kara and like Greta's suffering, so like we have to forgive her.
No, I think that it's completely unfair, honestly, and I don't even think it's just in being overweight. I mean, there's so many other case scenarios where people are at a disadvantage, and then they will hate at people that maybe have what they want, or are at a higher, or have an advantage. And what if you ruin that person's day, and what if your words stick with them, and then why are you doing that? Like, what does that make you feel good inside? I don't think so. I think like maybe in the moment, but ultimately it's just going to make you feel even worse.
And now I
in
want
my
to talk about
opinion.
something else, insecurities. I noticed a lot of time in life I was always in a disadvantage. Like, people forget that Freddie and I have just come into this success just very recently in life. And as I said in previous episodes, like our superpower is our double eyes, like one eye and another, having 2 points of view in such a short period of time. And being able to come to a table and give an opinion about something on two different perspectives of life that most people never have the chance to experience in one lifetime. Only few do, right? So when I say that your insecurities projected on other people are a terrible, distasteful thing, this is what I mean. I see a lot of times people seeing my success. And instead of like complimenting me, they try to make me feel bad. Like, oh, you're doing this because of this. Or like, oh, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't post that. You shouldn't tag that. And it's like, why do you do that? Why do you do that? Because you and I both know that if you were in the same scenario, you would do it too. The only reason you're trying to make me feel guilty about something, it could be like a car post, okay? Like the only reason you're trying to make me feel guilty about my car post is because you don't have that same car. It's not because a car post bothers you, because I'm sure it doesn't bother you when you see it from the influencer that you follow online, right? Like it doesn't bother you when Kim Kardashian posts the car, right? But it bothers you when Greta posts the car. Why? Why? Because I'm using the car as an extreme example, by the way, but it doesn't have to be the car. It could be like literally anything, because whatever it is, and I say this very boldly, success is defined differently by every person. For my husband, it's very different than me, and it's very different from you. And for my cousins, it's very different. But also, who are you to tell me how to define or what to do with my success? I think people, here's what's wrong. Like, do you think you have the right to tell me what to buy with my money if I want to
No, not
choose
at
how I
all.
spend it?
I think that
If I've made the money, well, sorry, I want to add, like if I've made the money with hard work.
I think that a lot of people today are very comfortable about commenting about other people's lives when you have no place to be doing that at all.
But tell me, like, answer my question.
I said no.
Should I? But the answer why? I want to know the why. Like, I'll answer it again. Like, do you think you have a right to tell me what to do with my earnings? Like, let's say I made $100,000 and I want to spend it. Do you think should you have an opinion on how I spend that money?
No, not even if it's something so stupid. That's your money, and that's what you have. Like, that's your choice to do it.
Why does your generation do it?
I don't know. I mean, I would love to know the answer myself, because I see people, they always, I mean, I get like comments from like random people, like they'll swipe up on my stories and say like the most out of pocket things. And it's like, where do you get the confidence to say that? Why are you're a cyber bully. Like, you're literally hiding behind a screen, commenting on my posts. Like, they would not have the courage to say that to your face.
Okay, because this is what I'm going to say to that. Like, when I was growing up in Albania and you saw somebody like have a nice house, have a nice car, have a nice outfit, go to a nice restaurant, and they were successful, politicians, businessmen, whatever, like you never had an opinion about it. You just said, wow, that's nice. Like, I can't wait to have that one day too. You used it as inspiration. Today's culture, it's like, oh, I have an opinion about Greta, like posting or checking into a place or having something.
Some people, like, they'll even so much as like they'll see your post and they'll like go sit in a coffee shop and they'll make that like their hour-long like conversation. Like, why are you wasting? I mean, in a sense, like you're wasting your own energy and time on someone else. Like, can you go do something better with your life? Go try to improve your life in a way, or I don't know, go connect with nature at that point. Like, throw away your phone. Like, if you find yourself talking about people that often in a negative way, like just reflect on yourself, because you're the problem. It's not the person at that point. It's you. So, you're the problem.
I'll say this. I follow a lot of businessmen around Boston and New York City. I follow a lot of people. And whenever they post something, like,
oh my God, it's inspiration.
Like,
it's inspiration.
I don't care. Like, it can be something very bougie. It could be something like extra. It could be like a private jet. And I'm just like, I'm always like, goals, gotta grind harder, gotta do it. Like, I never hate on them for posting something, because and I'll ask myself the same question that I asked you 5 seconds ago. If you don't hate on celebrities posting lavish lifestyles, why do you hate when your friend is doing
I think I know the answer small there. I think that the reason they're hating on you is because if they work a little bit harder, that could be them. They can't get to Kim Kardashian's level, obviously, because that's, I guess,
that's why we're using that.
Or someone else like Jeff Bezos. But now Greta, they can go and hate on, because if they work a little bit harder, if they put in like 80% more than they are, and they stop wasting an hour talking about you, go work and do something, then one day they could achieve your success. But instead, they're like, I'm lazy, I'm not gonna do that. So what's easier than working harder? It's talking about someone and just hating on them and being like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Because she's horrible. So
Yeah,
I
so
think that that's the easier approach here, and that's why most people do it.
and that's what I'm saying. So it's like, so instead of letting your insecurities become a reason to hate somebody that's super close to you, celebrate that person and use that person as a real life example. That's like you said, that's really close to you. Kim Kardashian is not close to you. Jeff Bezos is definitely not close to you. But this person in your neighborhood, they're close to you. So use them as an avatar of who you can become, and you'll become much better than them probably using them as an avatar because you'll have an advantage. You'll sort of be like, oh, by next year I'm going to be at her level, and then I'm going to surpass her. And do that over and over again. And I'm telling you, that's what I did. Like personally, with Freddie and myself, we always looked at people in the community that we wanted to mirror and become like, and then we would get to their level, and then we'd be like, all right, now let's find the next avatar and get to their level.
100%. I think that it's using it as motivation. Like you can take Greta's story for an example, and you can say Greta started all the way over here, and now she's over here, and I'm here. What can I do to get here? You know, her story started even worse than mine. Or I mean, maybe if your story's worse, you know, you can say, how can I use it to at least get somewhere in the middle? You know, there's always ways to improve, and I think that's really that growth mindset, and that's thinking, you know, what can I do to be better? Not say, let me just hate on her and be like, oh, you know, look at her, like she thinks she's all that. Like, no, like you can become like that as well. I think that it's very petty, and I think that it's very sad that a lot of people resort to this mentality, and in the end they're just hurting themselves.
Yeah,
Again.
100%. So I think like this is all good stuff, talking about women and talking about how society wants women to be perceived and talking about insecurities that we often project onto other people. And I guess if I wanted to close it with something, I'll close it with a statement that do we have it wrong? You know, do we have it wrong that we have, like you said, where did we as a society screw up? Where did we screw up that we allowed people to have opinions about how we go on our daily business? Like when growing up, I don't think I even crossed my mind to opinionate on my neighbor's way of life. Like the only thing I had an opinion on was on their grass and maybe their flowers. Like,
I think it
where
comes
did we
down
go
to
wrong?
respect. Well, I think, like, if I had to narrow it
So we
down,
don't respect each
I don't
other?
think people respect people anymore. They're like, oh, like, look at her. You know what I mean? Even younger people, I think that they hate on your story. And it's like, look at you. Look at your age, first of all. Look at everything and just reflect, you know, is what I'm saying respectful? Because, like, even though they don't know you personally, you can still have that level of respect for someone. I respect other celebrities that maybe have done things wrong, but I'm going to respect them because of the hustle and what they've done, and not just maybe like they are flaunting and posting everything now, but
I know what you're trying. I'm going to wrap it up with this because we're out of time for this podcast. I'm going to wrap it up by saying that respect people for what it is that they are to you, not everything about them, right? Like if you and I have a business relationship, respect me on the business relationship. You don't have to respect me on the personal relationship. If you and I are friends, respect me on the personal relationship. You don't have to respect me on the business relationship. So it's like you can respect certain facets of a person without going down the rabbit hole and starting to judge different characteristics of them. So for example, if you and I are coworkers, you can't really have an opinion about me as my personal life, but you can have an opinion about me and my business and my work life, and that goes the same way. If you are my coworker and or like my friend outside of work, you can have an opinion of me as a friend, but you cannot have an opinion of me as a husband because you are not my family member, you are not my wife. And I think that's where we screw up as a society, that we think we have to have an opinion about every dimension of somebody's life.
I think that it's honestly like that very famous quote that we've always heard since we were younger, which is so simple, and it's, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. And I think that
there you have it.
That's something we need to remember. We need to go back to our childhood and apply to today.
There we have it. If you have nothing nice to say, then don't say anything at all. That's the wrap for you and I. And thanks for listening to Half and Half on Air with Greta Bayrami.
See you guys next time. Oh, and with Kiara Cultivating.